Good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the PreStream podcast for Thursday, the 26th of May, 2022. I'm Darkside Phil, and I welcome you all here to my first stream of the day. I hope everyone's doing well. Excuse me. And, so, some changes, some things going on before we even get started. I'm in the midst of doing a million things today. Look at this. Update. What's this? An update for Dying Light 2. Basically, I'm trying to do a million things at once this morning, which is why I apologize for those who are live on the stream. I was not talking with you guys. I was running all around, doing a million things. Basically, my YouTube payment, which had started processing earlier this week, finally fully cleared overnight. And since it cleared, I finally had to pay all my bills for the month. So I was sitting around, but going to 100 websites and everything, trying to pay all my bills since now it's month end, and of course they're all due by the end of the month. I was installing Sniper Elite 5, which I forgot to do last night. I should have done it last night, but it's actually still installing right now. But it's almost done. It's at like 92%. So good thing I have such great internet, because it's an 80 gig game. And it took about 20 minutes to download that, but it's about to be ready, okay? So, I'm just very, very busy this morning. I apologize because I know some people come to the stream chat early. They want to talk with me a little bit before I start the pre-stream podcast. Today, it just was not possible. In addition, you may hear something in the background and say, wow, that sounds weird. I'll let you listen for a second. Ready? You hear it? It's my air conditioner. I had to install it yesterday. Yesterday, it was supposed to only be in the low 60s temperature-wise here. Whenever I reference temperature, I'm referencing degrees Fahrenheit. Just so you guys know, I live in the United States, and for some reason, we use all kinds of different scales. We use inches instead of centimeters. We use degrees Fahrenheit instead of degrees Celsius. I don't know. I wish we all just universally used one thing worldwide. I really do. But anyway. Yeah, yesterday it was only supposed to be in the low 60s, which means it would have been pretty nice in here. It was in the mid-70s. All the weather people were wrong yet again. So, I didn't have my air conditioner installed, and I'm sitting in here trying to play WWE yesterday, and I am sweating bullets. Although you couldn't really see it on webcam, my whole back was covered in sweat. I was like, this sucks, like 90-something degrees in the office. Okay? So, I just couldn't take it anymore, and I waited as long as I possibly could this year. Usually, I end up having to install the air conditioner in, like, April. Obviously, I got to late May this year, so I think I did better than usual. But what was I going to do? So, between the streams yesterday, I installed the air conditioner, and I turned it on at night. So, this office cooled down from 90 degrees down to about 72. And I was like, oh, it's so much better. Now, of course, I installed the air conditioner, and guess what temperature it is outside today? Ready? 61 degrees. Guess what it's going to be tomorrow? 57. Guess what it's going to be Saturday? 57. In fact, it's not going to get hot again until Tuesday of next week when it will hit the 70s. And actually, later on that week, it's supposed to get to the high 70s. So, I'm going to need it. It's a good thing I put it in. But I just find it funny that the day I put it in, of course, then it cools down. That's just my luck. It's fine, though. Anyway, here's the thing. If I don't have the fan on the air conditioner when I'm in this office, okay? Now my window is all taped up and shut, so I have zero air circulation, zero fresh air, and it becomes incredibly stuffy and stagnant in here, and it's like, unbearable. I need to have this AC on, not on, but at least the fan portion of it on, pretty much at all times when I'm in here. If I don't, it's very bad. It's too much electronics, you know, a big television, a console, this laptop in front of me, the microphone, the webcam, the mixer device, my PC, my 2 monitors over there, etc., etc. There's a ton of electronics running in here at any moment, which just makes the ambient temperature go up, and it makes the air very stagnant. So there's not much I can do. There is no top window. So open your top window. There's no top window. My window is a side slider. So once it's slid closed and I tape it up to put the air conditioner in, there's no opening the window at all. It's closed for the whole season. I can't open it until the fall when I take the air conditioner out. Okay? So, all that being said, you're going to hear this ambient fan noise blowing. You might not, someone said they didn't hear it. Let me turn it on high. That's high. So I don't know if you guys can hear that. It's not as bad, I don't think. The thing that's going to really be tricky, all right, is that as you guys know, back in the fall, I purchased a pair of neck phones that I now wear every single time that I game. I no longer wear headphones because they were giving me ear infections over the course of 2020. So now that I have these neck phones, I've completely avoided any issue with my ears. It's excellent. The problem is these neck phones are open air. So now when these are playing, we've got ambient noise in the room that's kind of messing with me being able to hear the game. So I have to up the volume. When I up the volume, you guys hear an echo. So this happened last night. Last night I was playing Uncharted 2, and about halfway into the stream, I started getting a couple complaints from the viewing audience saying they heard an echo. So I downed the volume of the neck phones, but then I couldn't hear the game as well. And this is going to be the trade-off that we have, is obviously it's better for me to be here being able to stream and not being in bed with ear infections constantly, right? At the same time, I'm going to suffer now during these months when I need the air conditioner on because I'm not going to be able to hear the games as well, okay? It is what it is. There's not much I can do about it. That's just life, and I'll deal with it. But I just wanted to let you guys know you're going to hear ambient noise now in the office that wasn't there before. Notably, when the air conditioner is going on and off, like right now you probably won't hear it because it's just a fan noise. You probably, let's see if you can hear it now. It's on high. Ready? You probably don't hear it that much, right? Just a little bit in the background. But when the air conditioner is actually set to on, then you're going to have it burn. You're going to hear it really loud. You're going to hear it going on and off when it hits the certain set temperature. So, not much you could do. It's been in my content for years upon years upon years. Back in the day, when I used to live in Connecticut and I was using my camera, you would hear my giant air conditioner back in my unit, my condo unit there, blasting. It was always an annoying thing. Nothing you can really do. I don't know if there's something called a silent air conditioner. I've never found one. Air conditioners, to be effective, usually are noisy, okay? But it is what it is, just something to throw out there. We're now in air conditioning season, you know. Here's hoping for a quick air conditioning season and that I can take it out of the window as soon as possible. Maybe sometime in September would be nice, okay? Anyway, that's that. So today is Thursday, the 26th of May. Today's a new release day because we've got Sniper Elite 5 on both the Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5. I think it's also on PC. Now, is this a major new release, a giant high-profile game? No, it is not. The Sniper Elite series has always been one that has a following, but it's never like, oh my goodness, super hyped, a bunch of press, a bunch of... You know what I'm saying? It's definitely not to that level. I have played 3 of these games up to now. I never played the original Sniper Elite. I played Sniper Elite 2, and that one was the first one I ever played. I think I played it on PC, if I remember. I think I did. And interesting game, going through the streets of Europe, taking out the Nazis, sniping them with these 3D mechanics where I would do ball-busting combinations, testicles exploding everywhere. It was pretty gruesome. It's very fun to get an X-ray headshot. When you get it, you know, nice accuracy and you get to see what bones it's breaking and things. It's pretty satisfying. At the same time, I remember the game after about halfway getting kind of grindy and challenging and a little annoying near the end, but it was still a fun playthrough, something different. When Sniper Elite 3 came out, I started playing it, and within a few streams, people got bored of it because it was basically a lot of sneaking and then a lot of ridiculousness, like you're going to take out a tank as a sniper. No, you're not. A sniper will never take on a tank in a one-on-one fight. That's just not possible. But in the game, you're doing it, and it's very tedious and annoying. And I remember not really liking it that much. After a few sessions, people basically were like, meh, so I stopped playing it. Now, fast forward to late 2021/early 2022, and when I had gotten my Xbox Series X and Gamepass, well, Sniper Elite 4 was on there, and I had never played 4. I skipped it when it was a new release because I thought, it's going to be the same as 3. So I did one night stream of the game, and then I did a major stream of the game. So probably around 4+ hours of gameplay of this game, okay? By the end of that, we determined a few things. It actually was pretty entertaining, okay? It was pretty entertaining. But it was kind of definitely leaning towards the stealth aspect, as in way less focused on any kind of run and gunning at all. Run and gunning is pretty much non-existent in the game now. Now it's all about complete stealth and getting sniper shots in when you can, and then evading detection. I said it backwards. Evading detection after you take the sniper shots, finding yourself another place to set up and do more sniper shots again. It's fun for about 2 hours, and then you realize it's the same kind of formula. And basically people got bored of it. Not to say I got bored of it. I thought it was all right. And I kept asking my audience, what do you think? And by the end of the first major stream that we had done of it, people were like, nah, it's kind of, you know, it's the same thing. It's kind of boring. The other thing is, because it's stealth-based, and because I have to focus a lot on not getting detected, I couldn't really interact with you guys that much. Normally on a stream, I'm talking with you guys, I'm reacting to what you're saying or whatever. It was actually quite hard to do that because there was no real dead time opportunity. I was always keeping an eye on where the Nazis were so they weren't coming after me and trying to dodge around them or you know, sneak around them. And you just don't have much time to just talk. You know what I'm saying? A little different than other style games that I've been playing. And so, much like with Sniper Elite 3, after playing it for like 4 hours, we dropped it. Now, the good news here is, this game's on Game Pass, okay? Sniper Elite 5, from what I'm being told, has the best gunplay of the entire series. There's now slow-mo and X-ray for every gunshot you take, even the handguns, which was never present in the previous games. And people are actually saying, that the game is a little bit different and refreshing, although at the same time has more stealth. Even more stealth. Like, wow. Like, the entire Sniper Elite 4, except for maybe 2 segments of the first 4 hours was stealth. You're telling me, like, it's all stealth now. So, again, being that it's all stealth, I don't know how this is going to lend itself to a kind of playthrough that I do, you know? We're going to find out today. But, again, it's Game Pass. So, because it's on Game Pass, it gives me opportunity to try the game. And if I don't like it, or you guys don't like it, we don't have to play it again. That is the beauty of Game Pass. Okay, so I'm very happy that I have Microsoft Game Pass to try a game like this and see if it's anything that we're interested in doing long term, or maybe we do it today and we're like, meh, not so good. I just go back to everything else I was doing. Okay, so we'll find out today, firsthand, if the game's any good, and we'll go from there. It's fine with me, right? And by the way, I like variety. I like being able to break it up because for the last week it's been all Skyrim or WWE, but really nothing else on the day streams. So this gives us something else to do on a day stream to break up stuff. So I'm happy about that. Okay. All right. So let's see what happens. Let's please give me your feedback. By all means, that's one of the major reasons I'm doing this like this today. Please give me your feedback directly. Do you like the game or not? Do you want me to keep playing it, or one stream was enough? Let me know today. Okay. I'll try to get all of your input from today. Excuse me. Tonight on the late stream, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past continues. I'm excited for this. So far, I've done 2 streams, 4 hours of gameplay. We've beaten the entire intro segment, the first 3 introductory dungeons. We've got the Master Sword, and we've made it into the Dark World. Now is when the game picks up in a big way, because you've got 7 different dungeons you need to complete in the Dark World, and then once those are done, you can basically finish the game. However, there's a lot of open world exploration. There's a lot of things to do. In fact, I believe we're about to get a critical item needed to explore the rest of the game. I think so. So, I'm excited for this. I think it's going to be a great stream tonight. Retro vibes. I love playing these older games right now. I told you during this summertime, I'm going to be basically trying to play a retro game at all times, whether it's this, whether it's Earthbound, maybe Super Mario Brothers 2 or something else. I'm excited about playing a series of retro games, and this is the first one. So far, you guys have really liked it, and I appreciate that. Hope you'll come by tonight to check it out and support it, all right? Cool. Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, is Friday, and tomorrow we will return to the World of Skyrim Anniversary Edition. Last time around, we did a lot of odds and ends. We did a lot of trying to finish up random quests here or there. We could definitely continue with that again for a more chill vibe, or we could try to actually head into major story plot lines. For example, the politics plot line, which I've completely avoided up to this point. I have to think about it. I'm really not committing to anything. When I play Skyrim, that's kind of the deal. There's no reason to commit to anything. Just go by the what do they say? Shoot from the hip and just do something on the fly, and usually it works out being pretty entertaining. Also, it's some of the most interactive stuff I do. Skyrim definitely allows me to react to things you guys are saying and have conversation a lot more than other games, and I really enjoy that. Tomorrow night will be the complete polar opposite of that as we tackle Friday Night Fights, i.e. the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. Only 3 sessions left. Wait. Now that I said that, I want to confirm because I might have miscounted. So tomorrow's the 27th. Then we've got the 3rd, the 10th. No, I was wrong. Wait. Hold on. Okay. 4 sessions left. Son of a bitch. There's 4 sessions left. There's fucking 4 sessions left. Damn it. I thought we were only 3 sessions away from ditching this fucking busted ass collection. It's 4 sessions left. Fucking shit. Okay, anyway. 4 sessions left of the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. Okay? So, basically, this is now the final countdown. Because in 1 month's time from tomorrow is the release of the new Capcom Fighting Collection, which includes many different games, although most of them were never played competitively in arcades. It's like a collection of a bunch of odds and ends fighters that Capcom released in the 1990s, but the 2 prominent games in that collection are the Darkstalkers games and also Hyper Street Fighter 2 Anniversary Edition. Those 2 will absolutely be the prominent games everyone's going to play competitively in that collection, but it will also include other games as well, like Cybernauts, Cyberbots, Puzzle Fighter Mini Mix, and there's another one too, like Red Dawn, Red Guard, Red Sun, I don't know, Redheaded Stepchild, whatever it's called. I can't remember the name of the game. I always forget it because I never played it. I never played that one in arcades. So I'm sure I'll be checking those out, but the focus will be primarily on Hyper Street Fighter 2 Anniversary Edition and probably Vampire Savior, which is the last competitive game from arcades for Darkstalkers. So, once that comes out, great, but we still got about a month left until that comes out. Is it Red Earth? It's Red Earth? Red Vines. Delicious Red Vines, the video game. We're going to play, I can't wait. All the different ways that the red vines can make your mouth happy. Anyway, so, yeah, Street Fighter tomorrow night. It's always a good time. Now, Saturday, I'll be doing more WWE 2K22 on the mainstream, and Saturday night we're doing something else new, the Pac-Man Museum Plus Collection. This is a collection of Pac-Man games from over the years, including the original arcade games, but many other Pac-Man games that came out over time that I've never even played or knew existed. All right? And essentially, this is meant to be kind of like a way to preserve the history of Pac-Man. These days, not many people talk about Pac-Man anymore, but he was insanely popular in the 80s and 90s. Seriously, like, Pac-Man was one of the most prominent video game characters, especially in arcades. It is a Gamepass game, and I feel like this is a game perfect for a late-night chill stream, but personally, I don't know if this is a game we'll be playing more than once. We may just do a 2-hour stream and play a bunch of these games once or twice and say, okay, I see what Pac-Man was, let's move on. Or there could be stuff in there that intrigues us, is interesting, and I'll want to go back and play it at a future date, in which case I'll have it under Game Pass and I'll be able to do that. So that'll be a fun late night stream for Saturday night. Now, Sunday and Monday, I don't want to promise you guys anything because it really is dependent on how the streams go today and Saturday. If we like Sniper Elite 5, then I'm probably going to do another stream of it either Sunday or Monday. If we like the Pac-Man collection, then maybe I'll play that again on a late stream as well. Or maybe not, because it all depends on how it goes. So let's play it by ear and see what happens. I'll tell you what will continue is WWE will continue as the main gameplay stream. And on the late streams, we're definitely going to have more Uncharted 2 and the continuation of Zelda. All that's going to continue. But Skyrim is kind of the game, excuse me, that's able to be flexible since it's not a major new playthrough. At any time, we can delay it. We can move it back to a night stream, whatever we want to do. So if Sniper Elite 5 ends up being good and something you guys want to see, then we can delay doing Skyrim regularly. Maybe just do it once a week or something like that, okay? I'm down for that. It's okay if we do that. So let's see how it goes, and I'll play it by ear and let you know, all right? Cool. Now, some follow-up updates on a few things. Yesterday, I announced to you guys a major change in the schedule in regards to the DSP Reacts to the John Rambo and Howard Expose special event. You guys voted in droves when we hit the members goal for May to see me react to the John Rambo and Howard video from 7 years ago, which was basically an expose revealing all kinds of behind-the-scenes stuff about our relationship and the reason why they didn't want to do anything with me anymore, okay? I've never formally responded to it at all. It's been almost 7 years, and people finally want answers. You're going to get those answers, okay? So, the good news is, thanks to the help of a fan and viewer, I am able to do this as soon as I want to, because as of now, everything is ready to go for the show. Yeah, I could do it like right now if I wanted to. I'm not going to, but I could do it whenever, because the thing was about this event, being that this is something that I waited 7 years to do, and being that it's something that I feel I should do justice, meaning I'm not going to rush through it, I want to be sure that when I'm doing this particular React event, that there's frames of reference for everything so you guys understand it. I mean, hell, it's been 7 years since the video came out, and it's referencing things like 2-3 years before the video came out. So we're talking things from like 10 years ago that most people don't remember or don't accurately remember anymore. So, since I was going to react to it, I said, I want to do this the right way. I want to have all the supplementary materials available. So when these guys reference something, we can immediately watch it together and react to the original content they're responding to, and then we can see everything in a big picture kind of a deal. It just has to be done correctly, okay? And again, I want to emphasize this is not a slam video against those guys at all. In fact, what this will do is reveal a lot of stuff about our relationship and things from over the years that happened that, quite frankly, I regret and or am disappointed that they went down that way, but that's history. You can't change it. You can only kind of learn from it, right? And I certainly have. So, anyway, I'm ready to do the event now. Originally, I thought it was going to take a while to get all the materials and everything together, but basically the legwork's done. So, I announced yesterday that it would not be now that we're going to do it, but it's next week. So, a week from this Saturday, it'll be June 4th. We're doing a marathon-style event. DSP reacts to the John and Howard expose. It'll be a pre-stream podcast where we order food, because yes, I will be doing an episode of Feasting with the King during this event, just like I did with the last one a few weeks ago, which means in the next week, excuse me, we have to start talking about what cuisine you guys want to see me try, and there has to be a vote on it, okay? So there will be a vote next week. Basically, when I come back from my break on Tuesday, like Wednesday, there'll be a poll from like Wednesday to Friday, polling what type of cuisine. And then that Saturday morning, we'll order. And then I'll start the React event, do it for a few hours. And when the food shows up, eat, relax, and then come back and finish the React event. Okay? So set the date, Saturday, June 4th. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be special. Something people have waited for 7 years is finally going to happen. All right? People will finally get their burning answers. Wait, Daryl, they'll get cooling answers to the burning questions. I sound like Tough Actin' Tenactin now or something. I don't know. But anyway, it should be a good event. I really feel, and by the way, this will absolutely positively be the best produced thing I've done in years. You're gonna see the video footage, in there of the stuff that's being referenced. It's going to be really well done, trust me. So I hope you guys will join me for this on that date. Outside of that, the only other thing to really mention before we get to like news and stuff is I do, once again, just want to touch upon this right here, the members goal, which we already hit. We are currently at 515 members. A couple days ago, we were at 527. But what ended up happening was a bunch of people's memberships lapsed and they haven't renewed yet. Now, here's the deal. I'm not surprised. Number one, we have a giant inflation of members because people have been gifting memberships since it was made available about a week ago. But in addition to that, there's literally nothing going on in the realm of new releases right now for games. Typically, historically, when there's new games, people come to the channel. They'll become a member. They'll support. When there's not a lot of new games, viewership dwindles. Not much you could do about that. I rely more on my core fan base and viewership during those times. It's definitely the time right now. That's exactly what's going on. All right. What I would like to say is thank you to those who are sticking with me and having fun with downtime stuff right now. There will be major new releases in June. Around June 10th, there's a double release. And then later in the month, there's a bunch of games coming out. Okay. Now, if you're interested in gifting memberships, we are finding stuff out about this program that is so weird and different from Twitch. And sadly, it's just not as good in my opinion. Although it's nice that it's there, it's definitely helping my channel. There's a lot of shortcomings, okay? One of the shortcomings that we're realizing, is that in order to gift a membership on this channel, there have to be people who have enabled the ability to receive a gifted membership. And if there isn't, or if there isn't enough, let's say, for example, you wanted to gift 10 memberships right now, and you tried to do it. If there's not 10 people who have manually enabled the ability to accept a gifted membership, those memberships don't get applied. You'll pay for them, and they just go, bloop, they go away. They disappear. Do I get credit for them? No. From what I've seen, I don't get credit for them. But it's unclear what's going on because we've had two different people who've done it. One person said that it looks like their payment never went through. The other person says it actually did, but I didn't get the memberships. So where did they go? This is very confusing, okay? I don't know. You would think they're going to refund it. They better, or else that's a major problem, all right? So, yesterday what happened was someone tried to gift a bunch of memberships. It didn't work, but then a bunch of people who were on the stream said, oh, let me enable the ability to get gifted memberships. And then another person gifted memberships, and then they apply, okay? So it is kind of a weird thing. You may be in a situation where you're like, oh, I want to gift some memberships. You try to do it, it doesn't even work. And then you have to wait and then try again later, and then it might work. That's pretty stupid in my opinion, but that's what YouTube came up with. It's certainly better than nothing, and I'm grateful that they even exist. I just hope that we can work out these bugs and these issues and understand how it works so that's more smooth of an experience, just as I explained to you guys. Okay, just as I explained to you guys. I knew for a fact that when this rolled out, it was not going to be a smooth process that would work right. I knew it. I said it. I said every time YouTube rolls something new out, it doesn't work as intended. There's issues, and we have to work through them to figure out how it works ourselves because YouTube doesn't even pass information. I was absolutely right. James says, how do you enable it? Apparently, from what I'm to understand, let's say, for example, someone just tried to give 5 memberships right now. If you don't have it enabled and you don't have a membership, a pop-up should appear on your screen in the chat that says, oh, memberships are being gifted right now. Click here to enable your ability to accept these in the future. So you click on that, and now you can get one later. But someone has to gift one for that to even appear. There's apparently no menu option or anywhere on YouTube right now where you can go like behind the scenes and say, hey, I want to enable it. You have to wait for the event to happen on the stream, which is really weird because you're kind of saying, I already missed out on it, but now I want to get it next time if there's ever a next time. You know? It is so confusing. So, it is what it is. If anyone wants to gift memberships, thank you. This channel has seen big growth just in the last week since they were enabled. I'm sure, I see many people here today who don't have memberships who probably would appreciate it. And, you know, the growth helps. Absolutely, the growth helps this channel. Like I said, even though you might say, oh, that's not organic growth. Fair enough. But historically over on Twitch, when people would do these sub bombs, 1 out of maybe every 10, every 20 people who was gifted a sub would end up liking it because it's basically a free trial. Oh, for a month I get to see what it's like to be a sub. Ooh, I get to highlight a name in chat. I don't have to abide by slow mode. I get access to all of Phil's emotes. I get this benefit, that benefit. And after seeing all the benefits, albeit maybe a small percentile, some people would say, I'm going to continue my membership. And bloop, there you go. So same thing here. If you get gifted a membership, you like it, likely, you know, a few people will continue, and that will help the growth of the channel. All right? So thank you in advance to anyone who gives any memberships. Thank you to those who have already done so. Thank you so much. Now, it would be great if we could get back to where we were. It sucks that we lost like 15 members. I don't know what happened, why people didn't renew, but it would be great to get back. The record we have on the channel is 527. All right. So when we get new memberships, I will be checking. It'd be great if we can get back to that number. I'd be ecstatic if we did. And if we get 550 members, we unlock a new emote slot. That emote slot will be for the Sonic DSP emote. That's the emote with me wearing my old Sonic the Hedgehog hat. I have absolutely no idea how we all forgot about this emote. We literally all did. And then last week someone said, hey, Phil, whatever happened to the emote? I was like, hold on. I looked it up and I found it. I have it. I don't know why we never even talked about adding this one on YouTube. I've been here a year and we forgot all about this emote. So anyway, that'd be pretty exciting to get that emote, right? So there you go. All right. That's really handling all the business here regarding the channel. We can now move on. A couple of news stories this morning. First of all, sad story. We have lost the great actor Ray Liotta. Many people know him as Tommy Vercetti in Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Many people know him as one of the main characters and protagonists of the movie Goodfellas. People also know him from many other different things. Like, I guess at one point he had a really long-running stint on the sitcom Mad About You in the early 2000s. He was the villain of the B-movie. And recently he was seeing a career renaissance where people were actually wanting to have him in roles again after him not acting for an extended period of time. 67 years old. We're not sure what happened. There's no information yet of what happened, how he passed away. But obviously, for anyone, number one, who has played Grand Theft Auto Vice City, a lot of people to this day feel that Tommy Vercetti is the best protagonist of a Grand Theft Auto game ever. Now, I personally think that he did really great voice work for the game. There's all these rumors about behind-the-scenes issues that I guess he was hard. I don't know if he was hard to work with or there was a falling out between him and Rockstar or something. I don't know. There was like rumors about it. But personally, Vice City is still my favorite of the classic GTAs. Like to this day, when I think about GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas, Vice City is still my favorite to this day. And so I absolutely love the work that he did in that game. But also, I love the movie Goodfellas. Out of all those movies, those gangster mobster movies, like Scarface, Goodfellas, Casino, of that era, I personally think Goodfellas is the best one. And Ray Liotta is a major reason for that because he's a great actor. And he really holds the whole movie together with his narration skills, but also his acting as a character in the movie. Quite frankly, I wish he did more. Like, I wish there was a lot more big, high-profile, notable movies with Ray Liotta because it seems like everything he was in, he did an outstanding job. And it's sad that he passed away at only 67. You know, when you pass away in your 60s, you wonder what was going on there. Obviously, some kind of a health issue or something. And that is sad. So rest in peace to Ray Liotta. I recommend going and checking out his body of work. If you're going to watch a movie, I strongly recommend Goodfellas. He's insanely good in that one. And again, a game, absolutely check out Grand Theft Auto Vice City if you haven't. He's great as the main character. Okay? Okay. I really only have one gaming news story to cover today. Although, I really don't know how much of a news story it is as a kind of something that was inevitable. So, if you guys haven't noticed, there seems to have been in the last couple of years or few years a dramatically increased interest in taking video games and converting them into other forms of media, notably movies and television series. So, for example, Sonic the Hedgehog, right, now has not one but two incredibly successful conversions to motion picture form, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 being the most successful video game movie ever made. And by the way, people say they're actually good, as opposed to being shitfest like the Uwe Boll movies that he made for so long. People say these are actually good, okay? Now, television series. We just had Halo that just finished, and apparently from what Paramount, you know, the makers of the series are saying, it's a huge win for them. That it's got ginormous viewership compared to what they were expecting, and they love this, and now they're probably going to move on with other video game related projects. But the funny part about it is, the actual fans of Halo hate the fucking show with a passion. I mean, within 2 episodes, the show destroys any semblance of being faithful to the source material, right? Um, just think about it. Master Chief takes off his helmet within like an episode. Master Chief not acting anything like the character from the games, right? Destroying the lore and the plots of the games, and this is a different interpretation of it. It's like, you know what? Here's the thing. And the same thing with like the Uncharted movie that just came out. The Uncharted movie did incredibly well. All reports are that the Uncharted movie made big box office. Everyone who made the movie was involved is very happy with how it turned out. But people who saw the movie said this is not Uncharted. It's literally another movie. It's got the characters from Uncharted, but it's not Uncharted. It's them writing an action adventure movie and pretending like it's Uncharted. Okay? I actually think all the way back. All right, I do. I think all the way back to the early 2000s. There was a movie that was called Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. At the time, the only video game movies that had been made were jokes. The Super Mario Brothers movie, the Street Fighter movie, Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat Annihilation, right? These were all known as huge jokes, not taken seriously, B-movie schlock that was basically a bunch of garbage. And you know, everyone thought, video game movies, right? So I remember when the Final Fantasy Spirits Within movie was announced, people were blown away because of the animation at the time. Now, today you watch it, you're like, oh, that animation sucks. But back in the day, that was like groundbreaking animation. People had never seen animation of that quality before in a movie. All right? Now, I was a huge fan of Final Fantasy. I had played Final Fantasy 4 and 6. I called them 2 and 3. I had played 7. You know, in the late 90s, Final Fantasy was coming to huge prominence at this time. Okay? And so, when this movie was announced, everyone's like, oh, they're actually going to make an animated interpretation of Final Fantasy. This will be neat. I can't wait to see chocobos and moogles and the crystals of power and the, mages and all, dragons, all the quintessential parts of Final Fantasy, all those essential things that are part of Final Fantasy lore finally will be turned into a movie. I can't wait to see that on the silver screen. And so everyone went to the box office to see the movie, sat down, and proceeded to see about an hour and a half, maybe hour 45 minutes of bullshit. Fucking bullshit. The movie literally has nothing to do with Final Fantasy. Nothing at all. The only semblance that I can say that the movie is related to Final Fantasy is that in the plot of Final Fantasy VII, there's this illusion that everyone came from this life stream that's the core of the planet, and when you die, you return to the life stream. That's pretty much part of the major plot of this movie. But outside of that, it doesn't have any Moogles, no Chocobos, no Crystals of Power, no magic, nothing. The movie has nothing to do with Final Fantasy. All they did is they bought the rights to the name, slapped it on there to pretend like it was Final Fantasy to make a buck. Okay? And to me, it pissed me the fuck off so bad. I was so angry that I had been fooled, thinking that this was going to be a Final Fantasy movie. It was not in any fucking way. It had nothing to do with it. And I hate to say it, but again, with the Uwe Boll movies and shit, that seemed to be the running pattern for a very, very long time. Use the movie's IP, the intellectual property, to get people to watch it, but it's a piece of shit that has nothing to do with the source material, or immediately smashes and bastardizes the subject at hand. So if you're a fan of the series, you get pissed off. A movie franchise that started off with a lot of promise and then degraded into utter fucking diarrhea was the Resident Evil movie series. If you go back and you watch the first Resident Evil movie, starring, what the fuck's her name? The woman from The Fifth Element. I can't even remember her name at this moment. It starts off feeling like Resident Evil. People are going into a mansion. The mansion is full of traps and puzzles. They go to a secret underground base. There's monsters and zombies down there. All the scientists were turned into mutated freaks. They have to find a way to basically either survive or destroy it. There's a spy there who's trying to make a big expose and blow up their spot. Oh, look what the secret research they were doing. It's actually interesting because they found a way to take the plot of Resident Evil and turn it into like something you would want to see at the movies. I thought the movie was actually quite good. Now, was it completely faithful to the source material? Fuck no. It took a lot of creative liberties, but at least it tried to maintain semblance of what the source material was. Okay? So say what you will about Wes Anderson and his movies, but at least that first movie tried. None of the other ones did. All right? All the other ones were just like, oh, have some zombies. Oh, look, the Nemesis is in it. It has nothing to do with what Nemesis was in the original games, but the Nemesis is in it, and he has a bazooka. Oh, look, the zombies are coming. Oh, look, here's a random pyramid head dude monster from one of the Resident Evil games, literally thrown into a scene for no reason at all, just to say it has a reference to Resident Evil. Okay? Same thing with the Silent Hill movies. All right? If you watch the Silent Hill movies, they try, at the very least, to have connection to the plot of the games. They fail. They're not great movies at all, by all means, but they at least try. Okay? But recently, when you look again, Uncharted, Halo, all these series and movies now are coming out and being successful. So what Hollywood is doing is saying, oh shit, video games are working now as movies and television series. So the reason I'm bringing this up today is because it has been announced that all of the following are now being developed as either a series or a movie. Ready for this? Horizon, so you know Horizon Zero Dawn, Horizon Forbidden West, is being developed as a series for Netflix. Ghost of Tsushima is being turned into a movie. We already knew this. There's already a director attached, and so that's going to be a movie. God of War is now being developed into a series for Amazon. The Last of Us is being developed into a series for HBO Max. Twisted Metal and Gran Turismo are also strongly rumored to being turned into series. Okay? And, you know, here's the thing with everything in entertainment, all right? It's just like with video games, right? With video games, all of a sudden you see one game become very popular and everyone else says it's bandwagon time, baby. Let's not use any creativity. Let's not use any original thought. Let's jump on that fucking popularity bandwagon. It happened with first-person shooters and military shooters. It happened with third-person cover-based shooters. It happened with zombie games. It happened with motion control games. It happened with team-based cooperative shooters online. Then it recently happened with Battle Royale. So now this always happens. Oh, by the way, it's Paul W.S. Anderson, not Wes Anderson, who did the Resident Evil movie. I misspoke. I always get those two confused. Paul W.S. Anderson made the Resident Evil movies. I want to correct myself. Thank you to Zen Shuriken for correcting, because I don't want to misappropriate blame. Okay. So anyway, it's all about fads. What's happened now is that the Sonic the Hedgehog movies have set a precedent that video game movies can now be incredibly successful. So Hollywood is saying, oh shit, jump on the bandwagon. And so what we're going to see in the coming years is a schlock fest. Just prepare for it now, especially if you're a fan, lifelong fan of video games like me. Prepare for your favorite video game franchises to be absolutely bastardized, ruined, and transformed into dramatic drivel shit for the silver screen and the small screen, because this is what Hollywood does. It jumps on a bandwagon approach and thinks just because a couple movies or a TV show was popular, now we could do it with every fucking video game ever made under the sun. I predict the following. Street Fighter will have a movie or series. I'm serious about this. I feel it will. Maybe even Devil May Cry. Okay? Franchises that were forgotten are going to come back out of the woodwork to become television shows and movies. This is all going to happen. Okay? Seriously, this is all going to happen. And it's not going to be pretty, because you may have some series that will be good and some will be terrible. Already, people look at the casting for certain shows and say, okay, this is supposed to be that character, but they're not even the same character. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're calling them this, but that's not who they even are, like, from the original lore. Just prepare. I mean it. Prepare for all of your expectations to be shattered in a terrible way, because this is what Hollywood does. Now, here's the sad fact of it, though. Some of it may be successful. Like, people who saw the Halo series and like Halo hate the series. But Halo is a huge success for Paramount. It made tons of money. So to them, that's the opening of the floodgates to open this kind of shit. Just make these dramatic series that destroy the source material, but as long as it's for a new audience and they like it, they don't care what they destroy. So just prepare yourselves. Seriously. Just Sony alone has like 7 things in the works. This is the beginning of the end. You're going to see all video games will now become mainstream shit. And, I hate to say it, you may end up seeing video games themselves now following down the path. Because if the movie's popular, if the TV show's popular, you want to tie in with that, right? So, you may start seeing Halo, the series, the game. Yikes! I can't wait to play the scene where Master Chief loses his virginity. That's going to be very exciting to be doing quick time events for that one, man. Anyway. That's it. There's not much else to say about it. It's just kind of an inevitability that is going to happen now, you know. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do some quick shout outs for people who've contributed. There's a few people here. And then we're going to do actually a big segment of Q&A today. We have time. There's really not a lot of news today at all to really cover. So I figured today would be a good opportunity for us to do a big amount of Q&A on the stream. Fair enough. All right, so we have no YouTube side contributions, no super chats, no super stickers, and no memberships and no gifted memberships. So I have nothing to shout out there, but we do have some tip contributions, so let's get into that. We start off today with Cheeky Shane Wayne, who tipped $1.50, saying, would I ever box some random person, it says some name I don't know, to get publicity on my channel? No! No, I wouldn't do that. I've already told you guys, I'm not a fucking idiot. I'm not sitting here, I'm not going to be a boxer. I want to be successful at what I want to do. I don't want to be successful at junk to get stupid publicity for what I already do. I like being a content creator on the internet in this style, and I'm not going to fucking be talking about boxing and it's ridiculous nonsense. Okay. GAT Gunter, or Gunder, tipped me $1.50 and says, you're the best at Street Fighter, Phil. I cannot wait to watch more. Well, at this point, I really do feel like the 30th anniversary collection is like, we've destroyed that. We not only beat the dead horse, we rode the dead horse so much that it's like a pile of dust. And we're still like, every week we jump into the dust pile again. You know? I cannot wait for this new collection to come out. It's going to breathe new life into old school Capcom fighters. Finally, after 4+ years, we're going to get something new and different. So I'm excited for that, and I hope you guys will join me for that in about a month. But we still got 4 more sessions to go. I appreciate your kind words. Snow Carl to the $1.50. He says, well, the one fear I have is people will see a huge membership count and assume you're rolling in cash. Has it made that huge of a difference? Is it still less than Twitch? Have you considered swapping the vest and hat goals soon? I mean, I don't like talking about money matter-of-factly, but I've already explained to you guys how this works, okay? My memberships here on YouTube cost $3.99 United States denomination. I don't know what they cost in local currency for you if you're not living in the United States. I guess YouTube kind of converts it or scales it. Essentially, I make, on any membership I get on YouTube, I make just slightly less than what I was making over on Twitch. On Twitch, it was always 50-50. So you pay $5 for a sub, Twitch keeps $2.50, I keep $2.50. That's how it worked over there, okay? Here, the split's a little different. It's more favorable towards the content creator. So, for example, if you do a $4 membership, I make more than $2 per membership. It's not 2 and 2. It's like they make like $1 something and I make 2 something. YouTube gives you a more favorable cut. All right, which is good. That's a nice thing, obviously. What exactly is it? I have no idea. I haven't done the math. I haven't gone crazy trying to figure it out. I just know that pretty much it's close, but not equivalent, but it's close. I'm making a little less on each membership here than I was on Twitch, but it's close to what I was doing on YouTube. All right. Now, you do the math. All right. Let's do the math here. On Twitch, on any given month, I had between 600 to upwards of 8 to 900 subs. And that fluctuated greatly. It depended on the month. It depended on if there was a hot new release and someone came in and dropped a giant sub bomb and now it helped a ton. And then some months it would slow down. But by the time that I was done there, about a year ago, I had around 800 subs. That's just guessing. I know I was up and down, but it was probably around 800 subs. All right. Right now, I have 500 memberships here on YouTube. Okay. So all you got to do is do the math, and you can figure out, depending on the calculation, it's probably anywhere between, I don't know, $600 to $1,000 difference a month, which is a lot of money. Okay. It's not exact. Like I said, I don't actually know the cut I get here on YouTube. I just haven't cared that much. You know what I mean? For me, it's like I'm making the content. I'm not sitting here counting every dollar and have a spreadsheet of shit. It's just kind of like, hey, write it out and see how it goes. All right. Now, that's an estimate. All right. But what you got to understand is I just hit this. Okay. I had only around 300 to 350 until gifted memberships. That's a way bigger difference if you do the math. You're talking 500 or more difference in membership / subs. So now you're probably talking between $1,000 to $2,000 difference a month. Yeah. So it was a big hit. And that's what I've been telling you guys over the last year is I went from, I'm making a good amount of money every month. I can pay all my bills. I can pay my taxes like I'm supposed to every month. I'm not financially stressed out. And, you know, like I was telling you guys, it was like there was a light at the end of the tunnel. It looked like finally I'd be able to upgrade my system and do all this fun stuff. Maybe start saving money for a honeymoon with my wife. And then when I lost that partnership, it was an immediate loss of between $1,000 to $2,000 a month for me. And that was a giant issue. Okay? Trying to make ends meet, trying to be able to pay every bill. And, you know, that's what I mean. Like, and by the way, what ended up happening over the year was even worse. If you guys remember, I told you because of identity theft and other things, there was a major thing that happened in early fall where I defaulted on a bunch of my financial obligations because all my money was frozen. And so now not only was I making less and barely making ends meet, for a whole month, everything didn't get paid. And then I had fees and basically all these kind of fucking things I had to pay to fix that. That just compounded the issue on top of that. Okay? This is a major, major problem. All right? And so here we are a year later, and here's what I can tell you. All right? At least all the other behind the scenes shit is fixed. It wasn't irreparable, irreconcilable damage. And a good fact of the matter here is that I already had terrible credit because I declared bankruptcy in 2020 and all that fucked up stuff happened last fall. So at least it didn't destroy my credit. My credit was already destroyed. So it didn't actually affect it negatively because it already was bad. Okay? I mean, that's not good news, but still, it's not like nothing was ruined. It's just, it really put me in a bad way financially, again, on top of compounding the issues. All right? So now, this whole year I've been working to build up this YouTube channel, right? And to some extent that's been successful, right? Subs are up, views are up, engagement is up, all this stuff is up. It's on a growth trajectory, which is a good thing. It's a very slow growth trajectory, but it's undeniable that there's a growth trajectory, all right? Now that we now have gifted memberships, hopefully this will be a consistent increase in support when it comes to memberships. That is another step in the right direction towards getting me back to where I was. I'm still not even close to where I was with what I was making on Twitch. And the sad fact is, what happens when all that shit happens? I lose a bunch of income every month, and then all the other shit happened in the fall, and I couldn't pay shit. I'm behind on stuff, you know? And it's like an endless loop of never being able to catch up because people won't stop fucking with me. If people would just leave me the fuck alone and stop trying to ruin my life, none of this would have happened. No, really. None of it. If all the bullshit didn't happen, I never would have been kicked out of the Twitch Partner Program because I know exactly what happened now. I can't talk about it because I told someone I wouldn't because I don't want to get someone in trouble. I know exactly what happened, all right? And it's because of assholes completely trying to ruin my life. I know about the whole identity theft thing. I know exactly what happened with it. It's people trying to ruin my life. It's not, I want to troll Phil and have a laugh. It's I actually want to ruin Phil's life. And it's to the point, at this point, where it's like, I don't know how people could be that angry at anything I've done over the years, especially with the fact that I've really tried to change recently in the last several years. You know, I'm trying not to do any of those things that from back in the day piss people off. It's just like that's it. Once this mentality on the internet happened, this meme that Phil is a bad person, evil person, they just won't stop. I mean, you get to the point where it's so fucked up, it's beyond defense. It's one thing to say, oh, I don't like this guy, so let's just say that his content sucks, or let's say that, you know, this or that. It's another thing entirely to break laws, to commit crimes against me constantly, which is what has been happening. That's why I'm in the position I'm in. I'm telling you, if the partnership was not lost last year, and if the identity theft didn't happen, I would be probably in a good position right now. Seriously. But again, I'm on a success trajectory, so they commit crimes to fucking ruin that for me. There's no defense against it. I don't know what to do. You know, how do I stop myself from people committing crimes against me? I just don't know, all right? So, it sucks. And what I would say is this. Thank you to everyone for your ongoing support, for sticking in there. The gifted memberships is absolutely a major thing that's going to help. If we can maintain a certain level of this kind of support, and if this increases month over month, like it was on Twitch, because we now have gifted memberships, this will help. If I can get this up to where I was on Twitch, now we're starting to maybe see the light at the end of the tunnel again. But I got to get to that point, and I'm not at that point. I'm, like I said, not only is the fact that we're not at Twitch levels, but I'm behind now from shit that got fucked up last year, right? And there's nothing I could do to fix that in a short-term manner. That's a long-term thing. I got to kind of like tough it out and hope for the best. So it is what it is. All right. That's really all I have to say about it. You know, I wish that I could say more positively or spin it more positively. I can't. You know, that's just the me trying to be transparent about it. Is things, I feel things will get better as long as we tough it out and people don't keep committing fucking major crimes against me to ruin my life. I don't know what else to say about it. Okay. All right. Rob on Wheels. Thank you very much for a $5 tip. And he says, well, he's insulting WWE. He's basically saying, when will the WWE playthrough finish? Well, from what I'm going to understand, all right, why is this keyboard is having so many issues. It's capitalizing things I'm not capitalizing these days. I don't know. Anyway, from what I'm going to understand, the My Rise Road of WWE, all right, basically has 3 campaigns. All right, there's the NXT campaign, there's the SmackDown campaign, and there's the Raw campaign. All right, I'm currently in the middle of the SmackDown campaign. Now, each campaign has 2 sides. When you're a heel, the bad guy, or when you're a face or babyface, the good guy. So you can swap between to see both sides of the storylines. And then at one point, you'll be offered the opportunity to jump to another show to do different plot lines with different wrestlers and stuff like that. Okay? Currently, I've become the champion of SmackDown, and now there's a plot line to defend the title, and then there's another few plot lines, and then if I swap to being a heel again, there's a few more plot lines. So taking a look at what the game is, probably I would say another 1 to 2 major streams of SmackDown, and then I'll probably swap to Raw, and then on Raw it's going to have its own series of plot lines. If it's historically like SmackDown, probably about 10 to 12 hours of gameplay there, and then essentially you've done most of, if not everything. From what I'm to understand, there is no ending. Like, you could go on endlessly, but at one point you've done all the meaningful storylines, so there's really nothing else to do besides just do kind of endless grindy stuff, which I'm not going to do. So what I would say is we're going to play it to a point where it feels like we've reached the logical point. I've played enough and seen enough of the original stuff, and then we'll say, okay, that's the end of the playthrough, you know. But basically, I can't promise because I don't know exactly how long it'll take to do some of these things. Most people who played through the My Rise mode said it's between 20-30 hours. As of today, we're currently at 15 hours, roughly. So, you know, you do the math. We're about anywhere from halfway to 2/3 through it. So maybe another couple of weeks of keeping it in the rotation. Now keep in mind, okay? Keep in mind, there are new releases coming out. And those new releases will take priority. Once games like The Quarry or Mario Strikers or other things come out, those are the main focus. And WWE will be pushed more to the back burner, especially because by then, we'll likely be nearing the end anyway. All right? But for now, I just hate to say, there's just not that much going on. There's nothing really going on in the Roma new releases. Today we're checking out Sniper Elite 5. Will it be good? I don't know. Likely it's like Sniper Elite 4. I have no idea if people are going to want to see this again after today, right? Pac-Man Museum is not something that's really hyper popular. You know what I mean? There's just nothing happening. So WWE is kind of one of my major focuses right now. And as long as people keep showing up and supporting it, I don't see a reason why I shouldn't focus on it. Although I know there are people who just aren't interested that much in wrestling. I get it. Again, that's why I strive to do variety in my content. Not only am I doing WWE, I'm still doing Skyrim. I'm trying out new stuff as it comes out on Gamepass. We're doing retro games at night. So there you go. I wish I could promise you an end date, Rob. I cannot do that. I don't know how long it's really going to take. But, we should, if everything people are saying is true, we're more than halfway through it. Basically, we've got another stream or two of SmackDown, and then we go to Raw, and we do a few streams of Raw, and then I guess that's the end. Okay? Okay. All right, guys. So, that is it for shout-outs. Actually, I take that back. We did get a super chat here from Ruby. Ruby did a super chat and says, rest in peace to Ray Liotta. You think this spells the end for Tommy Vercetti? Would there even be a reason to make a Vice City sequel without it? I mean, okay, I gotta say this. Why do people think there was going to be a Vice City sequel? There's rumors that they were going to make another GTA in Miami. That doesn't mean that it was going to be a Vice City sequel. That doesn't mean that Tommy Vercetti was going to be in it. I didn't hear any facts to that effect. Right? Maybe some speculation, some rumor. I've never heard any facts to that effect. So, I'm not too worried about, oh no, now GTA's ruined because Ray Liotta has passed away. That, from all reports, Ray Liotta basically had a bad relationship with Rockstar by the end of the game. Like, I guess, I don't know what happened. There was a falling out and they weren't getting along or whatever. So, I don't think this has any effect on GTA at all. In any way at all. If anything, if you take a look at the appearances of previous characters in modern GTA games, at most, it's like a cameo appearance or a reference. It never is like, oh yeah, the major character, the protagonist of a previous GTA game is now a major character in this next one. That doesn't happen. So no, I don't think it's going to have any big overarching impact on future games from Rockstar or anything like that. If anything, they could reference briefly Tommy Vercetti, passed away or something. Who knows, right? Hobo X says, people don't think there was, but it was the most requested thing from Rockstar. People wanted a direct sequel. Well, obviously, Rockstar wasn't doing that to begin with, Happy Thursday to you, Guts. Arntor, okay, I love when you get shit like this. So, much earlier on this podcast, an hour ago, the first thing I said was, just so you guys know, my air conditioner's in. Arntor, an hour later, just says, it takes 30 seconds to install an air conditioner. Just take it out if you want, laughing out loud. Do you understand how ignorant you are? I mean, really, when you say shit like that on the internet, do you know how dumb you sound? In your case, you probably have an air conditioner that's a traditional air conditioner. You probably have a traditional window that's just a open and close window, and you could toss the air conditioner and it goes zoop, and you're done. Okay? That's not the universal truth of air conditioning. It's just like, how do you say, I have absolutely no capability to walk in someone else's shoes without saying, I don't have the capability to walk in someone else's shoes? Say something dumb like that. Do you know there's more than one kind of an air conditioner, right? You know there's more than one kind of window. There's more than one kind of house. Just, oh my God. Do I really need to spell it out? Do I really need to explain that I have a side slider window? Do I really need to explain that my air conditioner has to block the side slider with a giant plastic insert, and I have to use foam and tape to close off the air circulation so that the air stays in the office? Do I really have to explain this? Do I? I'm 40 years old. I feel like I'm talking to a 5-year-old about air conditioning on my stream, about games. Yikes. Okay. Oh, yeah, these people. Anyway. All my air conditioners are the freestanding portable air conditioners. They have to be, because I can't fit an air conditioner in my window. I have the, I forget what they're called. The side sliding windows. They're not called bay windows, right? No, bay windows are the ones that don't open, right? I don't know. I don't have traditional up and down windows like this. Mine are big ass sliding sideways windows. So when I have an air conditioner, what I actually have to do is use the insert, and you slide the window to hold the insert in place. All right, there's an air duct that goes from the freestanding air conditioner into this insert, and that's the exhaust of the air conditioner. Then I have to get foam to plug up the cracks between the window frame or the window, sliding window, and the insert. And then I have to get weatherproof tape and tape all around the edges to hold it in place and also to stop air circulation. So now when I turn the air conditioner on, the air's blowing out, cool air's coming in, hot air's blowing out, and there's no loss of air because I taped it all up and I insulated it. If I didn't do that, there's no point in having an air conditioner. It would just be blowing hot and cold air at the same time all over the place. It wouldn't cool the room down at all. That's the whole premise of an air conditioner. And no one out here has central air. The homes in Washington were not built with that in mind. When these homes were built, like my house was built in the 1990s. But when these homes were built out here, they were built under the impression that this is a moderate climate that never gets super hot, and you want to retain heat for the winter to save money. That's how all these homes were built. So like I've told you guys a million times, when the sun is outside in the afternoon and beats on this wall, the entire side of the house heats up. They designed it that way so that it retains heat, and in the winter you don't have to turn on your heat because your whole house heats up in the afternoon. You can retain that. If you close your windows or whatever, you retain that heat for the night, and now you don't have to run your heating system. That's how these houses were designed. There's no central air here at all. There's maybe 2 to 3 homes in my entire community where people got central air, and it costs upwards of $10,000 to $20,000 to install it, which I don't have. What's up, Zabibo Baby? How you doing? He says, I'm tuning in from work today. Welcome. How you doing? You know, keep in mind, global warming is a major thing that people like to ignore, but it's real. Likely, when this house was built in the 1990s, in the summer, the temperatures would go to 70, maybe 80 degrees. I mean, we just had an 111-degree day last year, record high temperatures because of global warming. So when temperatures are increasing that much and people build a house not planning for it, that's when you get the situations people are in here. Yeah, Butter says, when I lived in Washington State, I didn't know anyone who had central air. No, almost no one has it here. I'm not even kidding you. There's stores that don't have fucking air conditioning. You walk into it in the summer, like, why is it so hot? Oh, because we don't have an AC system. What? You don't have an AC system? No, why? We never thought we would need it. Bookworm says, knowing everything you know now, would you have chosen a different place to move when you left Connecticut? Not really. I mean, the thing is, no matter where you live, there's always shortcomings. There's always drawbacks, right? If I had moved somewhere else where things were more advantageous to my business, like, for example, a place that the taxes would have been even better and things like that, the weather's terrible. Like, there's some states that I was looking at that are insanely business friendly, like Florida or Texas. The weather there sucks ass. It's way too hot. I wouldn't want to live there, you know? Or if you look at the places that may have even better weather than Washington, they're not business friendly states. I feel like here, I kind of have the best of everything that I could possibly have as a combination, because it's not overly hot all the time, okay? It's not overly cold all the time. Yes, there's taxes here, but they're not nearly as much as what I was paying in Connecticut or a lot of other states. Okay, so I don't get the most extreme weather. I get fairly moderate and fair taxes. All right. And the thing that I like about living here, okay, is number one, there's way less people. I don't know what the actual wording is or the term is, but when I lived in Connecticut, it was crowded as fuck everywhere I went. You want to drive around in Connecticut, you're going to sit in traffic no matter where you're going because the streets are crowded with cars. You know, you go to a store, it's always packed. That's how it always was in Connecticut. Here, it's not like that. It's like there's just way less people per piece of land. You know what I mean? Like people seem more spread out. Even where I live, which is a suburb of Seattle, it's still way less spread out than when I lived in Connecticut. Okay? So population density, maybe it's called, whatever you want to call it, right? It's just much better here. That's number one. Number two, where I live, anything that I want, anything that I need is in a close driving proximity. At most, I have to drive maybe 20 minutes to get to something. And that's everything that I want and everything that I would possibly need for my life. I can get within a 20-minute drive. When I lived in Connecticut, it was like, oh, so you want to do this? You got to drive on the highway like an hour to get out to do something. It's like, what the fuck? This sucks. Why is there such limited shit? You know, where I live, I hated it. I didn't like having to sit in traffic and do, I got to get something for the house. Now I got to drive 30 minutes in traffic just to get there. Then the store's crowded as fuck to even get anything. Wait in line. It's like, what the fuck is this? This is like something that should take 5 minutes. Why did it take me 4 hours? That's how it was there. Here, it's so different, and I like that. So just to give you guys some perspective, I lived in Washington almost 8 years. I moved here, it was either June or July of 2014, okay? In that time frame that I have lived here, okay, I've done many things. I've driven around, traveled, gone to different places, obviously, furnished the house and did all these things. I have a good life here. I'm not limited. I'm not stuck. I have a very good life here, doing fun stuff, doing whatever I want. In the 8 years I've lived here, I have driven on the highway 0 times. 0. I've even driven to Seattle many times. I don't ever need to get on a highway and sit there in traffic and deal with that stressful shit. I just don't have to. Everything here is so within reach that it doesn't ever feel like, oh God, I got to go on a giant trek or a big journey or to do this or do that. 0. How many of you could say in the last 8 years you never had to drive on a highway, right? It's very rare. When I lived in Connecticut, it was constant I had to get on the highway to do anything. I don't have to do it anymore. What's hilarious is you get someone like this, he says, oh, you're a shut-in. No, I don't have to go on the highway. Like I said, I've gone on trips. I've gone to just for our anniversary celebration that we just had a few weeks ago. We drove about 45 minutes, didn't have to use a highway. We drove on a regular road and was able to get to a big shopping area with nice high-end dining and everything. I don't have to do that here. That's how it is here. It's different than other places where it's like, there's nothing near you. You have to constantly be driving away to get anything interesting. No, everything here is within reach. That's what I really like about living here the most, is that was a very stressful part of my life. It was when I had to drive everywhere to do everything. I mean, hell, I had an internship where I had to drive an hour and a half every morning to get to the fucking internship in Connecticut. There's nothing, I don't have to deal about that at all. Yes, highways, freeways, Hobo X are the same. Yes, freeway, highway, all the same thing. I just use regular roads to get around, and there's low stress driving. It's no big deal. Because everything's here. Everything's in close proximity. I love it. Will I ever travel again? I mean, it's not against reason that maybe someday I would want to go somewhere. The thing is, like, the places I would want to go, there's no reason to go. Like, Seattle, I enjoyed going there a couple of times. Seattle sucks now. Ever since COVID and all those protests and shit that was going on, Seattle is terrible. It's full of crime, and you can read every day a new news story about how bad it is, and the business owners are pissed off and want the government to fix it, and they haven't fixed it yet. So I don't want to go to Seattle. Same thing. Like when I moved here, I was like, oh, maybe one day I'll go down to Oregon. That's the state below us, Oregon. And there was all this tourist shit. Nope. Crime. tons of crime shit. Like, you don't want to go there. So, if anything, maybe flying somewhere. You know, flying somewhere for somewhere nice, but not. And by the way, the airport is 20 minutes away. I don't have to drive on the highway to go to the airport. I just drive 20 minutes and I'm at the airport. How cool. Darkness says public transport must be bad in Connecticut as well. I mean, public transport's always crowded everywhere you go. Here, there's buses and shit everywhere and tons of crowding in that as well. I don't think that's changes anywhere. Butter says used to work at SeaTac. That's the name of our airport here. Seattle Tacoma Airport. Christian, I have no idea. He says, why do you think most World War II games focus more on Western Front or Pacific Front than other fronts? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know anything about... To understand that, I would have to understand history and shit, which I don't. You know? I don't know. I'm turning on the air conditioner now, so now you guys are going to hear... This is what it's going to sound like when the AC is on. Why am I turning it on? Because my office is 83 degrees right now. My air conditioner has a temperature gauge built in. Over the course of this pre-stream, we started off, it was 77 in here. It's now 83. Just from me sitting here talking for an hour, the ambient temperature of the room has gone up that much. So now the air conditioner's in, I'm going to have to start using it all the time. Darkness, I mean, he says, I missed your pre-stream. Did you talk about news about PS1 games now having trophies on PS Plus Premium? I mean, it's not... The reason I'm not really mentioning it is because it's not true. It's... What happened was, it was leaked that one PlayStation 1 game is going to have trophies added. Siphon Filter. And all of a sudden, it starts to report, oh, all the classic PlayStation games will have trophies. This is wrong. Sony outright said what we're doing is we're allowing... game developers the ability to add in trophies if they would like to their classic games, but it's not a uniform thing. Basically, they're opening the ability to do so, but it's not going to be a uniform thing across the board. So some classic games may have trophies added, some won't. It's a nice added feature, but it's not uniform, therefore it's not really news. Yes, Swagonito, my air conditioner shuts off at a certain temperature. I think at this point all do. I set it, like right now it was 83, so I set it to 75. So when it hits 75, it'll turn off. If it gets like 78, it'll turn on again. Protusum Zone, you missed the whole segment we did about that, so I'm not going to talk about it again. Well, Bookworm, that pricing certainly sounds stupid. All right, guys, last chance. If you'd like to tag me in chat and ask me any questions, I do have to use the restroom today. So I'll maybe one or two more quick questions, and I'm going to go on a quick break to use the restroom. And then we're going to jump into Sniper Elite 5, okay? Jade says he loves the Sniper Elite games. Well, I'm hoping that at least this first session will be entertaining, but I don't know if this will have longevity. But hey, it's at least worth a play, right? Do I prefer Calvin Klein or Tommy Hilfiger? Calvin Klein. All right, guys, let's end the pre-stream. Thank you for being a good audience. All right, let's give it a quick break here just for me to go use the restroom. I'll be right back, and we'll jump into Sniper Elite. Sound good?